Thank you for tuning in to the Live the Dream Media Network. Our featured broadcast will begin shortly.
The views and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the hosts and guests, not the opinions of Live the Dream Media. The content provided on this show is for entertainment and informational purposes only.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Southwest Flavor. Happy Thursday to all of you. We have a great show for you this morning, episode number 170. So we have two guests today. Our first guest is Kevin Brady from San Miguel High School.
Yep.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I'd say it's early, but we start earlier. So
Yes. I have very early mornings, so this is mid-morning for me.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm from Tucson, born and raised, and spent a little bit of time away on the working professionally.
Mm-hmm.
And started out in college athletics and kind of during the pandemic, kind of as many people did some reassessments of our lives and our goals and things like that, and ended up at San Miguel High School working in their corporate work study program.
Okay.
And kind of haven't looked back since. Yeah, so it's been. I'm glad to be back in Tucson. Glad to be working at some place that's making an impact on the youth's lives. And just having a lot of fun with it.
Very cool. And you have some deeper ties to San Miguel.
Yeah. So my mom was a religion teacher there when they first opened. So back, I want to say 2004 they opened, and she started in 2005, I think.
Okay.
So she spent about 10 or 11 years there as a religion teacher, and so it's kind of nice when we run into alumni and it's you can say, okay, I'm not just Kevin Brady with CWS, I'm Mrs. Brady's son, and all of a sudden, like, the switch flips, and it's like, oh my goodness, like, like I remember Mrs. Brady, and all of a sudden I'm brought into the fold on a different level.
That's really cool.
So.
Yeah, just to have that connection and to see, like you said, all the alumni, out and about around Tucson, them doing their thing. I'm sure a lot of them have their own families now.
Yep.
So.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so many of them that have started their own successful careers, whether it's their own business or working for some other company, and just seeing them with their families and just kind of the growth that they've had from when, my mom would come back home and she'd talk about it, and I had just left college, just graduated college at that point, and so to hear, it was kind of like sitting around the dinner table saying, okay, really have to hear about these high school kids? Okay, cool. And now it's come full circle where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, now I remember those stories about those kids. So, and now they're adults.
So being a teacher's kid, and then you went on and you got your education, and then you started working for different colleges and everything. Was that in your game plan to work in education or work for different schools?
Sort of, not really.
Yeah.
After college, I ended up. I was a computer teacher over at St. Joseph Elementary School for a year.
Okay.
And realized I loved everything about it except the teaching.
Oh.
And the teaching was just, I wasn't a trained teacher, so I was just kind of underwater of getting myself up to speed with everything. And the teachers there were unbelievably helpful with trying to get me up to speed and everything. But I realized I love being a teacher without having the weight of being a teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
So, but yeah, going in and working in the colleges, it was, I got my master's degree at St. Mary's College of California.
Okay.
And my mentor and boss there very much emphasized that we're here for a short time. We need to be able to pass along the information. He was very much kind of in the same mold of, I'm a teacher, like this is my job, but I'm also teaching the young people what this job is and how to act and what to do and things like that.
Right.
So that was a big influence of how I approached the job to begin with. And at one point I moved to the University of Nebraska, Omaha, and there we had a whole student worker component of a lot of our student athletes at the time.
Okay.
Which allowed that kind of teaching to just all of a sudden just start coming out, and it was very hands-on. It was very instructional. It was hey, here's how things are working in these other sports.
Okay,
because you would get softball players and baseball players working soccer games, and all of a sudden they're having to understand, okay, how does a soccer game operate? They're not just the team that I walk by in the weight room.
Right.
And you get the soccer guys coming over to work the baseball games, or the hockey players working the baseball games and things like that.
That's really cool, because you would think that, I mean, at least in high school, most of the time the different teams kind of stay in their own little cliques or areas or whatever.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun. It was, like I say, it was a lot of teaching, a lot of instruction, which I really enjoyed on top of what I was doing.
Right.
And it was the same kind of deal when I moved. I eventually moved over to GCU, and we had probably about 35 student workers that were non-athletes. That it was just, okay, they're interested in going into some form of athletics, and it was, okay, here's the whole gambit of what you need to know and how things operate and the behind the scenes stuff. And so it was very much up my lane of being able to communicate with them. And I mean, I found I'm passionate about teaching the youth and kind of giving them the guidance on different aspects of what's going to impact their lives.
Right.
And so it kind of fits into the San Miguel model that we have. And I've always been somebody that wants to know information about everything.
Yes. I can appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah. And so we have at San Miguel, we have over 80 partners that we send students to.
Oh, okay.
And so we have people at hospitals, at banks, at different community partners. And so when students come up to me and say, well, mister, what am I doing at this job? I have to be able to tell them what they're doing.
Right. Okay.
And so I have to know a little bit about the banking. I have to
Yeah.
know a little bit about hospitals. I have to know what they're doing at these different nonprofits. And so that kind of fits right up my alley as well, of just knowing a lot of different, maybe not a lot, knowing a little bit about a lot.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So
So at least you can help them as they transition into that, into that opportunity.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even just yesterday, I had one of our students came up and, mister, I've been watching videos the past 2 weeks. When am I gonna actually do something? I was like, well, you're training, right? Like, what are you watching? And she was explaining it, and I was like, okay, well, guess what? You're gonna be doing all that stuff in about 2 more weeks. Like, this is all going to be put into action in 2 weeks. So yes, you need to be paying attention. Yes, it might be boring,
Right.
but this is going to come full circle in a real way really quick. So, I mean, teenagers are impulsive as it is.
Right.
And so to say, hey, let's spend some time watching videos and learning what we need to do, can be tough. So,
Which is kind of weird, because I mean, teenagers are always watching videos, TikTok, and their attention span is very short. Yeah.
Exactly. It's not the hour-long instructional video.
Right. Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, if somebody could figure out how to make instructional videos 90 seconds
Right.
and just do a whole series of 90-second ones, oh my goodness, you'd
Right.
revolutionize everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. But the younger generation watches YouTube videos all the time to learn how to do something. How do I take this apart and put it back together? And they'll find a YouTube, it might be a 10-minute or 20-minute, instructional video, but
Yeah.
that's how a lot of the learning takes place now.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
home improvement or auto mechanics or whatever.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I love those videos too. Like that's
I mean, I've done it when I've taken my bike apart, and changed the bearings or whatever. I've watched videos before I did it, and then kind of as I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I looked up stuff about my car, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh no, you
Yeah,
know
sometimes
what?
it's
The
over your
mechanic
head.
is
Yeah.
probably the best person.
Yeah, right.
I could do this, but I don't have the money to buy a new car afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, if you only have one vehicle that you count on, and then we have to take it to the professional.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I understand
exactly.
that. So tell us a little bit about. So you're at 3 different colleges. You're at St. Mary's, and you're in Nebraska at Omaha, and then you're at GCU. So tell us a little bit about the different cultures and kind of what you learned and what you brought back from that.
Yeah, the cultures, it was very much set on how big the school was. St. Mary's is a
okay.
very small school.
Okay.
It was, I want to say at the time, it was probably 12 to 1,400 students.
Oh, wow.
Like it
Okay.
was it's a gorgeous campus.
Yeah.
If you've been up in the area, it's set back in the hills of.
Is that central?
It's northern California.
northern,
It's
okay.
it's just on the east side of the mountains from Oakland. So you have Oakland.
Ah.
There's the mountain range, and they're just on the other side of that mountain range.
Okay.
And it's a gorgeous campus in the hills. But it's very much a family feel kind of environment, and everybody, like a lot of people know each other. You're seeing everybody every day, and so that was definitely, it was a great introduction to get involved. Out in Nebraska, Omaha, it was a little bit bigger. The city's a little bit bigger. The campus is a little bit bigger. Again, the tight-knit community of the coaches and staff was still present, and almost everybody was on the same floor in the same building. So like you walk down the hall and you have your basketball coaches, and then your soccer coaches and your tennis coaches, and so everybody knew and was involved in some way, and but it was I don't know, it wasn't the family that St. Mary's was, but at the same time you knew everybody, you relied on everybody, and it was just a very supportive group of people. Everybody knew that in order for them to succeed, everybody else had to be succeeding.
Okay.
And because it still is a quote unquote small school,
Right.
D1 school. So,
Right. And and you're telling me off air that you were there during their transition from D2 to D1.
Yeah. So they, it was everybody had to help each other because the majority of everybody hadn't experienced D1. And so it was very much, a transition together as a whole group of, okay, now we're able to compete. Now we're able to look at championships, and because at the time there was still that 4-year transition window where they weren't able to go into the postseasons and things like that. So
yeah.
the regular seasons were just kind of, I won't say exhibition, but it was like you weren't playing for that end goal of
exactly.
a championship at that point.
Exactly.
So,
And I'm sure that probably hurt a little bit of recruiting, just knowing that you can't go to the postseason.
possibly, but I think it was more of the promise of, hey, by the time you're a senior, we're gonna have a team put together to compete for that championship.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
I don't think it was hurting that in that manner. It was It was more of here's the promise of what we want to be.
Okay.
By the time
We're building
it's worth-
something.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And they were putting in new facilities at the time. We just built a brand new arena. They had put in a brand new soccer field.
Oh, wow.
So and
Nice.
since then, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, they put in a brand new baseball and softball facility. So it's a place that's been growing, and they really it's been fun to kind of watch from afar.
Right.
How they've grown but yeah, it was very much a great place for me to be, and the community there, just everybody was very supportive.
Yeah. How long did you spend there?
I was in Omaha for 4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. It was a different cultural environment.
Yes.
You learn what a
the
tornado
Midwest.
siren is, and you learn what snow is.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you were born and raised here in Tucson, so
Yeah.
And then you went to California, so
Yeah, it's
you
not
weren't
like
experiencing the snow.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. My boss got a kick out of the first time we went to go clear snow, and he said, "Okay, you go grab the snow blower, I'll grab the shovels." And I said, "Okay, cool. What does a snow blower look like?" And so he got about a good 10-minute laugh out of the fact that somebody wouldn't know what that is.
Right.
So I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah. We don't have any laying around in our garage.
yeah, I saw snow when I was 5 when it rained,
Yeah.
or when it snowed at Christmas. Like,
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah. Once every 10 years or whatever.
Exactly. And not enough for a snowblower.
No, not at all. And then so after that, then you went to GCU.
Went to GCU,
in
yeah.
Phoenix.
Trying to get closer to home. Try to, and they were a little bit bigger school, and they too had just transitioned up to D1, and I walked into a wonderful environment of competitiveness, and they were very much and still are very much on the rise athletically, and they had a really great soccer program that had really come into their own, and their basketball team has always been kind of on the up and up, and I was there at the end of Dan Marley's tenure there, so
Oh, cool.
it was cool to kind of be around him and that staff, and the baseball team with Andy Stankiewicz at the time, and they really had things going, and I was there when they made the regional down here in Tucson the first time. So it was a really cool experience to be a part of that group, and kind of see the athletic department kind of grow into what they are at this point in time.
Right. Well, let's take a quick sponsor break, and we're going to go visit our sponsors. We will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve, through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Your old AC unit is the most expensive thing in your house this summer. Replace it now and get $1,000 off from Picture Rocks Cooling and up to $720 in rebates. Along with our 1-year money-back guarantee, that's the smartest move you'll make this summer. Call now for your free estimate, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license, or a car accident. Contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting Track, Tucson's Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
Arcadia Landscape has been a part of the Tucson community for over 40 years. In that time, we have grown from landscape maintenance and construction to tree services, water features, reptile removals, irrigation repairs and installations, and low voltage lighting. It's our mission to keep our community clean and educated so you and your family can enjoy it just as much as we do. No job is too big or too small. Contact us today for your landscaping needs.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
All right, we are back. We're talking with Kevin Brady from San Miguel High School. Tell us a little bit more about the program that you have with San Miguel.
Absolutely, yeah. So we have a work study program. We're part of a 41 school network across the country of Catholic schools.
Oh, okay.
The Cristo Rey network, and essentially we're all doing the same mission of we're located in low income communities. Trying to uplift the youth in that community,
right?
And kind of in Tucson, there's a lot of workforce programs that help the youth and things like that. And the difference for us is that our goal is to get our students into a college or university setting after high school. The majority of our students are going to be first time university or college attendees.
Oh, wow.
In their families, and so we want to give them that leg up and experience in the workplace so that they have some idea of what it is they want to be looking at once they get to the university setting.
Right.
Because over their 4 years, they have the option of selecting a new workplace every year.
Oh,
they can
that
go,
is cool.
They can go back to it. We have students that work at the same place all 4 years. We have some that have been at a new place every year. So it's very much kind of whatever their end goal is.
Yeah.
We try our best to supply that for them and make sure that they're getting the experience that they're looking for going into it. So once they graduate from San Miguel, they have a resume with some real world experience on it of working at a credit union or a bank or an engineering firm.
Right.
As they go into college and I know a lot of entry level jobs now, they require 2 to 3 years experience, despite it being an entry level job.
Sure.
So hopefully this just kind of helps give them that experience that's needed
that edge.
to get their
a little
foot
bit of
in
an
the door.
edge. Yeah. And it helps teach them, that they have to be there on time, they have to be prepared, they have to be trained in something. I mean, all these real world things that a lot of kids don't they don't take into consideration, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we have a 3-week summer program for all of our incoming students, freshmen and transfers, that they go through, and we go over all the I guess intro level ideas of how do you shake somebody's hand, how do you make eye contact, what are you expecting when you walk into the office, how do you talk to coworkers, some computer training and stuff like that, so that by the time August rolls around and we start sending students back out to work, we're not sending a kid wide-eyed saying, "Oh my goodness, what's about to happen?" They're walking in with some idea of what to do and how to act, it's fun to watch them start out as freshmen and to see them end up as seniors and graduating and to see that maturity and growth. And we had a student last year. Last year was my first graduating class.
Oh, okay.
That I started with the freshmen, and he was just an immature freshman,
sure,
as most 14-year-old boys are.
Right. Oh,
and,
yeah.
And he had been working jobs as like at his maturity level, and he about towards the end of his sophomore year, he come in to see me and said, "Mister, I'm ready for more."
Cool.
Like I want more.
Yeah.
And he recognized that there were students working at higher caliber jobs. He recognized that they were learning more at their jobs,
right,
setting themselves up for that next step. And he worked. I said, "Okay, here's the requirements I'm going to need you to hit."
Right.
Because at this point I'm not going to trust you.
Sure. Right.
And so by the end of the year, he hit all those marks. And
so is it like grades and attendance and different things like that?
It was showing responsibility of turning in your time cards, showing up on time, little things like that. The grades matter, but not as much on our side of things.
Okay.
Because that's kind of the academics and but just getting good reviews from your supervisor. And so he had hit a bunch of those marks by the end of the year. And so junior year, he ended up working at Raytheon.
Wow.
And then senior year, he was at the city manager's office.
Oh, okay.
So it was just to see the transition of where he was as a freshman, this goofy little 14-year-old. And yes, he was still goofy when he was a senior, but he understood and had the responsibility attached to it, and really just was just an amazing growth between those 4 years to see, and a lot of our kids go through that, and so it's a lot of credit to the supervisors. Like they work with those kids on their work days. Every student has a specific work day that they go in. So like our seniors are Monday, sophomores Tuesday, juniors Wednesday, freshmen are Friday. And so depending on how many students you take, you have a full load for your whole week.
Right.
If you're taking a kid every day of the week. But even if you're taking one student on one day, it's still a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare for that day and so our supervisors do a heavy lift for us and really do an amazing job with our students and preparing them and giving them meaningful work that they're learning and creating an impact in the workplace. I mean, one of our struggles sometimes with finding new jobs every year, is we've lost every couple of years we lose a partner because they'll hire the senior that they had.
Oh, okay. And so they have no need for that student worker anymore.
So like we just lost a law firm this past year because they hired their senior that they had for 2 years. And well, it's worth it for us to hire this young
he's
adult.
Experienced already.
They know what they're doing and so it's both heartwarming and disappointing all in the same breath of like, oh, that's awesome for that student and alum now. But shoot, we got to find something else for our current students.
Right, exactly.
So it's to work with the students, I mean, on their work days, They go in for morning assembly every morning at 7:25. We do a morning assembly program with some prayer and positive reinforcement and a lesson for the day. And then by 7:45, they're out the door. We have a fleet of about 15 vans that we send them all around the city to their workplaces. And by the end of the day, we pick them up and bring them back to school. And so they're learning how to fill out time cards. They're learning, okay, what is the flow of the workplace?
Right.
What does lunch look like? Every once in a while, they get taken out to lunch. Okay, how does being taken out to lunch look like? Because you don't get to just choose the surf and turf platter. You need to understand the menu and what's an appropriate meal for me to order.
Right.
Is it appropriate when is it appropriate to take snacks from the kitchen if it's an open kitchen and things like that. So just giving them those life directions that if you're not in the workplace, you're not picking up on.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of fun. It's every day is different because they're high school students, and we have over 80 partners that we send students to, and so everybody has a little bit different environment and a little bit different learning curve at their workplace, and to hear about all those different places every day is pretty rewarding on my end.
Awesome.
So yeah, we have, and essentially that's.
Well, Kevin, thank you so much for coming in today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's been fun.
Thank you. Yeah. No, this has been awesome. And if people are interested in joining, please give me a shout. Brady KE at sanmiguelhigh.org. We'd love to talk to you about either partnering in terms of taking a student, or if they'd like to sponsor a student. We have probably about 20 nonprofits that we partner with, from the food banks to Team Lizzie Bell to we just joined the Alzheimer's Association. They have a walk, I think, on October 10th-ish.
Yeah,
I want to say. I may be wrong on
fall.
that date, but sometime in October they have their walk. So they're using a student to help organize that. So
cool.
So if people are interested in helping out those students, I'd love to continue to talk about that as well. So just
All right, fantastic.
So.
All right, we will be back in just a couple minutes with Southwest Flavor.
In Marana, community isn't just where we live, it's who we are. And at the heart of it all is the Marana Chamber of Commerce. We are building a thriving community through connected business leadership. We start the month bright and early with Marana Mornings, sparking real conversations and connections. We celebrate growing networks at our 4th Tuesday mixers, hosted in exciting spaces. We unite visionaries and leaders at Impact Marana, driving meaningful progress together. We look ahead with Marana Insights, hearing directly from regional voices about what's next for our town. And we serve through the passion of our board of directors and ambassadors, creating a culture of belonging through service and leadership. Because of our members, we're not just doing more, we're becoming more. Together, we're shaping the future of Marana. We are the Marana Chamber of Commerce.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Your old AC unit is the most expensive thing in your house this summer. Replace it now and get $1,000 off from Picture Rocks Cooling and up to $720 in rebates. Along with our 1-year money-back guarantee, that's the smartest move you'll make this summer. Call now for your free estimate, 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road will help you with all your insurance needs. If you feel like you have a hard case due to a moving violation, a DUI, a suspended license or a car accident, contact us and come to Estrella Insurance on Irvington Road and get a quote today. Open late hours y hablamos español. Estrella Insurance, an agency you can trust.
Therapeutic Ranch for Animals and Kids is an inclusive community empowered and united by the strength of the human-animal bond.
It taught me responsibility. It taught me kindness and social interaction.
We have programs for every member of our community.
I love track because I have 2 daughters. We come out here and get all of our energy out.
Track is my home away from home.
You can make a donation or even become a monthly donor.
Thank you for supporting track, Tucson Ranch. We hope to see you here soon.
Arcadia Landscape has been a part of the Tucson community for over 40 years. In that time, we have grown from landscape maintenance and construction to tree services, water features, reptile removals, irrigation repairs and installations, and low voltage lighting. It's our mission to keep our community clean and educated so you and your family can enjoy it just as much as we do. No job is too big or too small. Contact us today for your landscaping needs.
I've had water and mold damage in my house twice. Both times I freaked out, but I called Steamy Concepts right away. If anyone tries to tell you to use someone else, just say no way and call Steamy today.
About a year ago, we had a flood in our kitchen, and we didn't think to call anyone else but Steamy Concepts. They were very professional, and we really enjoyed working with Steamy Concepts.
Steamy Concepts accepts all homeowners insurance. Call Steamy today or go to steamyconcepts.com.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
All right, we are back. You're watching Southwest Flavor. Check us out every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. Our next guest is Tim Carlson from the Greater Tucson Christian Chamber of Commerce. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming in today. So tell us a little bit about the chamber.
Well, we'll start from the very beginning
Okay.
of the Christian Chamber of Commerce. There was actually a location in Central Florida, and it goes back 20 years.
Okay.
And that's where the Christian Chamber was formed. And it ran that way for a long time, and that's still the largest chapter in the country. There are over 600 members.
Wow, okay.
And there was a transition from the founder to a new person to kind of take it to that next level. And a woman by the name of Crystal Parker took over in 2023. And as she looked at the bylaws and the articles of incorporation, she found that she actually had the rights to the U.S. Christian Chamber of Commerce.
Wow.
And at that time, she was called to do a little bit more. So she opened up 2 more chapters in the state of Florida.
Okay.
And then one of those members moved to Ohio, and there were 2 Ohio chapters that were formed. So there were 5 chapters, and that was just 18 months ago.
Wow.
And then through, circumstance, one of her legal counsel and board members happens to live in Scottsdale. He ran into my wife, Mina, at a fundraising event. And once James got to know Mina, he thought, I've got to get these 2 ladies together. And dialogue started, and my wife Mina ended up joining the U.S. Christian Chamber team as the senior vice president of the U.S. Christian Chamber Coalition.
Wow.
So at that same time, and again, this was just 18 months ago, Mina and I committed to be the founders of the Arizona Christian Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
And we went to work to build out this organization, which we're calling a state-to-city model. So we've got the 501c6 at the state level, but we're opening up local chapters underneath our 501c6 so we can cover every community and every street corner in the state of Arizona.
Oh, wow.
And that's the work that we've been going after. We're just June 25th of this year, we had our first anniversary in the state of Arizona.
All right.
Now,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm going to step back to the U.S. level because of the work that they're doing.
Okay.
They had the 5 chapters 18 months ago. They're now working on 31 chapters in 20 states, and that happened in 18 months.
That's incredible.
To say it's blossoming is an understatement.
Right.
There's an explosion of this marketplace ministry philosophy that we're delivering out there.
Right.
So with regards to Arizona, we got that state chapter going, as I said, June 25th of last year. This year, March 5th, we launched the Greater Tucson area chapter.
Right. I didn't realize it was launched this year.
This year, yeah. And we're already closing in on 100 members.
Okay.
So the work that they're doing here is just phenomenal.
Right.
In May, we ended up with Flagstaff.
Oh,
Just
okay.
this week, we got Greater Phoenix area going.
Wow.
And then this fall, we have a commitment for East Valley. So we will be the first state in the country with 5 chapters.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're excited about that, and we're
Right.
really excited about all the good that we can do with the coverage that we have. One of the really fascinating things, I think, is that Mina and I have not recruited any of these groups to open these local chapters. These people found us just doing searches or stumbling on one of our events, and then they approached us and literally they said, "This is who I am. I think we need a chapter in this community." And it's all happened organically that way. And we didn't think we were going to have 5 chapters this quickly,
No.
but when God has a plan, we're just hanging on, and we're
Right.
going to make it happen because there's so many good things that are coming out of this group.
That is fantastic. Very cool. I mean, I think that's kind of how I found out about it, is I kind of stumbled on it. And they did a really good job on Facebook and social media advertising it for a while, just for the get-togethers and all that. And I went over there and checked it out and became a member the next month. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, the local group led by Jessica Motes, she's the president of the local team, and there's 8 board members right now.
Right.
As I said, they're closing in on 100 members.
Right.
And where we see our focus, there's really 3, I'll give it 3.5 areas that we really lean into. One of the questions that I often get is, how is the Christian Chamber different than the secular or the Chamber of Commerce that's in really every community
Sure.
all over the country?
Right.
There's one area that we're like other chambers, and we want to focus on developing our businesses. Business excellence is what we call it.
Right.
So there's going to be networking opportunities, there's development opportunities, there's training opportunities. We've got a terrific relationship with Thrivent Financial. They do a lot of training and professionalism stuff.
Okay.
So that business side is one aspect of what we do because we are a chamber.
Right.
But where we start to separate is we lean into this community outreach, and we have initiatives there. And each local chapter works with their members to find out what those initiatives should be. For instance, Greater Tucson, all children accounted for is one of their key areas. Another one is they want to provide meaningful shelter for everybody in the community. So doing that community outreach is different than a secular chamber would be.
Sure.
Couple of examples. We've got a great relationship with a nonprofit called Sleep in Heavenly Peace. They build beds for children that do not currently have beds. And the largest chapter in the country happens to be in Phoenix. In 8 years, they've delivered 3,000 beds to children that are sleeping on the floor, and they have 1,700 kids still on the waiting list. Now, they were focused solely on Phoenix because that's where their chapter was.
Right.
We committed in Tucson after we launched that we were going to have a build event down in Tucson just to get visibility to it. That is now shown up in a much bigger way. Because we had that visibility, they identified a president and a vice president in Tucson. And here this fall, we're going to have a chapter in Tucson where they're building beds for children in Tucson that are currently sleeping on the floor. And we were a big part of getting that going. And we're really excited about what that means for the kids in the Tucson area. Because there's a big need out there.
There
We
is.
don't know how big it is yet.
Right.
Because there's no quantifiable way to calculate that. So literally, the government goes to Sleep in Heavenly Peace to ask how many kids are sleeping on the floor because that's the source of information.
Really?
So that community outreach is a big part of what we do. And then the third main area is we're building bridges between the church and the community. There's some really cool studies out there by the Barna Group. What one of the studies shows is that entrepreneurs are more easily approached if someone has question on their faith journey than going to a pastor of a church, because that's a much bigger leap to walk through the front door of a church for someone that's
Sure.
just exploring.
Right.
But if you see somebody that's wearing a faith bracelet like I wear, or my wife wears a cross around her neck,
Right.
and we own a coffee shop, or we're a florist, or a restaurant, or anybody in the community, it's a lot easier to ask us questions.
Sure.
So providing that bridge is something that we do as entrepreneurs, and is something that we talk about at all of our chapter meetings.
Right. I can definitely see that. I mean, and it goes for, if your kids are in sports, or, you're at a friend's house, maybe, a party, and there's mutual friends there, I mean, that, like you said, there's that bridge.
Yeah.
That makes it easier.
And that's where my first faith journey started, a fellowship of Christian athletes when I was in college.
Okay.
And Mina and I ended up on the board of a chapter of Fellowship and Christian Athletes back in Minnesota before we relocated down here 4 years ago. So yeah, it's that community-based faith, which is much more approachable, and that's where a lot of times that's where it begins.
Yeah.
And we are really trying to let our members know that that's an important piece if they're going to take on this marketplace ministry. It's a big role, and it's a wonderful role, and they're a big part of it.
It is a big role, but it also brings on more responsibility too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We welcome that.
Yeah, exactly. But you have to, once you're in that public eye, you have to be aware of what you say and do.
Yes.
Yeah, you're kind of under a microscope.
And that's where the coaching comes in, and that's part of the business development. There's a right way, a subtle way to do these things, and just keep those values, those good Christian values up front, and everything will turn out just fine. One other area that we're starting to add to the mix, and we're calling it legislative stewardship. And we want to share information on who the candidates are, what the propositions are that we're voting on each year. We want to be a source of information. We're not choosing sides, but we want to be very clear on who these people are. In fact, on the Arizona Christian Chamber website, azccc.org, there's a drop-down, and it's called the Biblical Business Index, which is kind of misleading because it's not an index of businesses, but it is a source. Every legislator has been ranked and scored based on some freedoms like religious freedom, economic freedom, social freedoms. They rank every legislator on this scale of how they are voting, their actual voting record in a biblical standpoint.
Right. Because that matters. It really does.
It really does. It shows who they are. And that's a huge piece of our government and our political system. Being able to vote, being able to participate, it's a privilege, but it's an obligation.
Right.
And the obligation is that we educate ourselves. There's so much information out there.
Yeah.
You really have to you got to go out and you multi-source to find out what the truth is.
Right.
We just want to be another place where you can go out and get some more information so you can make an informed decision.
Okay. I didn't know about that part, but that is great. And I'm sure, because there's churches out there that do try to advocate, just so that their people are educated, in the way that they vote. So that's just another tool that could help them, Do you work directly with some churches just to help them with the information?
Yeah, we're beginning to develop those relationships. On our team, we have pastors at some of the local churches, so that connection is there. And the churches really want to work with us too. That entrepreneur group, that business group, entrepreneurs by nature are problem solvers.
Right.
So just imagine what we can do with churches and their unbelievable fundraising, their unbelievable outreach, and working with entrepreneurs that are problem solvers. Just think of all the good things that we can do in the community when we start to band together.
Right.
Tucson's going to benefit, and all of our local communities. We want to get to every street corner.
Yeah.
And that's really this state to city model.
Okay.
We're oversight on the state level, and those city chapters, those local chapters, are going to do all kinds of good on every street corner, every community that we live in.
Wow, that's fantastic. Tucson, for a long time, and probably still is, has been known as a very unchurched population. How do you see that, and how do you see that you can help with that?
Again, it's growing, and it's not just Tucson. Ironically, if you take a look at Arizona, it actually ranks in the bottom third of the country for people that identify as truly religious. So there's a lot going on. We've got, the TPUSA up in is an Arizona phenomenon.
Right.
Now, all of a sudden, Arizona Christian Chamber of Commerce with 5 chapters is going to be the leader in the country. There's a desire, a true want for Christianity. Literally 2/3 of the country identify as Christian. We just haven't done a real good job of organizing them, and this is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
And part of that that building a bridge is also on the financial side or the business side. Is we have a quote that we like to share. An economist by the name of Anna LaPay, she said, "Every time you spend your money, you're casting a vote for the kind of world you want."
That's true. Yes.
And we're not saying that you should sacrifice any services or quality or product or any of that kind of stuff. But if all of those things are equal, tiebreaker should be if it's a Christian-owned, Christian-run business,
right?
Because you know that when your money ends up in their hands, the next stop is going to be volunteerism or give back to the community, and it's going to be very wholesome things. So we want to encourage people to look for Christian businesses,
sure,
and support Christian businesses. There are other people out there that are doing a better job of it. The Asian community, the Jewish community, and others. They circulate money within their framework much better than Christians do, even though we own 2/3 of the businesses. So we just want to shed light on some of those things too.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that's wonderful. Wow. So what's in the near future?
The near future is the greater Tucson area. That chapter just met on Wednesday. And again, they're a new organization, but they're going to be building out their calendar on business development, networking opportunities, and community outreach opportunities.
Okay, good.
That calendar is going to be out there visible on gtaccc.org. You can take a look at everything that they are going to have coming up, and we encourage anybody to come out and join us. You don't have to be a member to come to our events. In fact, about half of the people that are coming are non-members at this time.
Yeah.
But we want to change that. We're going to ask for the order before you leave because membership is really critical.
Sure, sure. I noticed that the last networking event that about half of the people were members, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you get that like in churches also. There's a lot of first-time people that are checking it out, seeing what's about.
Yeah, but you got to come out and try us on first and make sure that you like the message and understand where we're headed. We don't expect you to join and become a business member overnight without understanding what you're signing up for. So we encourage it completely.
Yeah.
And it's important in this way. Another difference versus the secular or other chambers that are out there, we are connected at the local level to the state. The state is connected directly to the U.S., and this is a movement that's nationwide. And the larger our membership, the louder our voice is going to become. And Crystal and Mina are already being invited to some of the grown-up tables at the national level. In May, they were invited to a Unite the Uniters conference in Washington, D.C. There were 4 members from the administration there, and it was the top 60 Christian leaders in the country showed up. And people are listening to what Crystal and Mina have to say about the challenges with Christian businesses at the local level. So this is a giant movement, and they're, like I said, they're involved at the highest level. 3 weeks ago, I was on a call with the White House Faith Office, and the speaker at that time, the guest, was Todd Blanche, who was just confirmed as a U.S. Attorney General. He was the one speaking at that event, and he was committed to religious freedom and the law that was enacted in 2017. He reinforced it that they're fully behind that.
Right.
That's part of the founding of our country is religious freedom, and he's not going to let that go. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, as a business owner here in this area, I mean, the first thing that you can do is to change your community is just to change, to try to improve everything around you. And by joining the Christian Chamber, we start to get a bigger voice. And, it grows from just our little community to this region, to the state, and then nationally. I mean, I think that's, kind of the message that I'm taking out of this interview.
Yeah. So it's, we're going to call it a top-down, bottom-up. The bottom-up is where the magic is.
Right.
I mean, that's when we get to the people that are truly in need. And those initiatives at the local level may be different. Phoenix, they're going to focus on women in transition as one of their outreach programs.
Right.
Here, it's shelter and it's children. Very similar. It's quality of shelter and children in Flagstaff, but each local level is going to take the opinion of the membership, and that's a starting point. It's going to continually evolve,
Sure,
because we want to get to as many people that are in need on the local level. So, and then the top down, it's our faith statement, it's our guiding principles, it's our focuses, and if we can help with that legislative stewardship and the involvement that Crystal and Mina have at the U.S. level, and that's going to come down to the state level. We may be taking on the Day of Prayer for the state of Arizona.
Oh, okay.
That's in April of next year. We have been asked to take a look at taking that as the Arizona Christian Chamber of Commerce.
Wow.
So we're going to be involved in a lot of different levels.
Right.
And as you said, it's right to the street corner. It's citywide, it's regional, it's state, it's country, and it's all connected, which is a little bit different than you see with other organizations.
Yeah, right.
This is a nationwide movement.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, hey, thank you for coming in today.
My
It's been
pleasure.
wonderful. I would love to have you on again sometime.
You can have me come in sometime, or there's an extra chair here. I'd love to get Mina in here too.
Okay, that'd be fantastic. All right, that is another episode of Southwest Flavor. Check us out